Hi, everybody. Welcome to 5 Minutes of Fame with Dr. Brown. My name is Taylor Spaziani, and I'm the Shaw director here. And here today, I have the lovely Dr. Brown with me. So thank you for being here with us today.
Thanks for having me, Taylor.
Just to get started, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and your career?
Sure, I'll keep that short. My name is Dr. Melody Brown. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. I have a private practice where I work with individuals, couples, families uh, around issues related to their relationships. And part of what's really important for me about that is that we always include the socio-political context that people are coming from, especially these days. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So important, like you said, especially this time in our lives right now. Just we want to get to know you a little better too, personal side of Dr. Brown. So, do you want to share maybe what top three items on your bucket list you currently have going?
Oof, bucket list. Yeah, that's gonna be telling. All right, so the first thing is I want a world tour featuring Michelin chefs.
Hell yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, that I want that all around the world.
So,
I'm not specific where I start, so that's one. I want to be able to give back to my parents who poured so much into me and my siblings. You know, I want to be able to say, "Nah, I got that" for most anything.
so beautiful.
Um, and I want to be able to start some sort of philanthropic work.
Really cool.
Um, Not so much about remembering me, but knowing that there's always a need, um, and finding ways, unique ways, to be a part of that work. There are lots of people doing it. There are lots of needs trying to be covered. You're never going to cover them all, but I
Yeah.
want to get in the game.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah,
very respectful. I admire that about you.
thank you. Thank
One of my favorite questions I love to ask all of our presenters here is who is your sexual role model?
you. Ooh, Lizzo
Yes, she is a powerhouse.
rocks it all with no shame.
Oh,
So
love that. So much
love
energy.
it.
Yes, that's amazing. I'm so glad. So glad. Another favorite question of mine that I think is always so informative for people to hear is maybe what can you say about some bad advice that you've heard people in our field give out?
Mm, I don't know about specific phrases, but something along the lines of be careful and are mindful of what you share with clients.
Hmm, yeah,
Uh, I think that we are all trained to be ethical and hold appropriate boundaries with our clients. And um, I think that we've been told to do that in a very rigid way.
hmm,
Um, I grew up in communities where sharing and connection and individualism wasn't really a thing. So it's a collectivist culture. So the idea of figuring out how to give you to your client in your most authentic way while being professional and boundary. So yeah, like that phrase of, oh well, that's an interesting question. How would you handle that? How well, tell me why you ask is a deflection. I'd rather deal with the boundary and maybe answer the question.
yeah, yeah. No, I love that. I think that's something that I think about all the time on my own personal journey as well. So I'm really actually glad. It's refreshing to hear you say that.
Yeah, we'll talk about some of that next week too.
Oh, amazing. Yes, I know I'm looking forward to that. So, at the Sexual Health Alliance, our goal here really is to provide therapists, healthcare providers, all kinds of helping professionals with high quality sexuality training because often we don't receive this kind of training in our graduate school programs or any educational platforms across the nation.
Right.
So what do you personally think is some of the most important pieces about sex and sexuality that you would want providers to know? And what would you want to see other people incorporate into their practice that might be missing?
Yeah. For me, I'm always going to come from the place of what are our contextual stories
Mm-hmm.
and how are those stories impacting all those aspects? So, what do you know about sex? Who taught you about sex? What were the messages you got about it? Where were the areas of shame? What held you back? So I want us to start looking at the intersections that we don't talk about
Mm-hmm.
and how that impacts our sexual selves, our sexual lives.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're going to hear a lot of that from you this next weekend about more of these intersections that I think tend to go unspoken about pretty often. Super
Yeah,
important stuff.
yeah.
Well, cool. I think, that's pretty much it for this short and brief interview, but do you want to tell the world what you're working on? This is your red carpet moment.
A red carpet moment, huh? Well, right now I'm doing less of the pieces around putting things on paper and more of the pieces around trying to be in relationship on different platforms. So, excuse me, the workshop with you all next weekend, various podcasts, and you can find me. I'll post those up on my Instagram page, Systemic Solutions LLC. Uh, so just stay tuned for some of that. I'm not super like active on Instagram, but when I have new stuff to post up there, I'll make sure everybody hears about the blast.
All right, awesome. Well, you can catch Dr. Brown next weekend on Saturday, February 27th. We'll be talking about working with African American couples. I'm so excited to work with you and this opportunity to present you. So, thank you for your time, Dr. Brown, and we will see you next weekend.
Thanks, Taylor.